Kirill Marchenko might have been the biggest positive surprise of the Blue Jackets season. We're going to talk all about him, how good he was this season, and what his future with the team might look like.
You're Locked On Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am, as always, your host, Jay Foster. Here with me is my co-host, Hayden Hanson. We are here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your favorite team and ours, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before we get started, we want to thank everyone for making this your first listen of the day every day. Locked On Blue Jackets, free and available on all podcast platforms, over on YouTube and on SiriusXM. Yes, even on a weekend like today. We just got too excited about Kirill Marchenko, so we thought, hey, let's do a Saturday episode, and that's who we're going to be talking about. We're going to continue kind of our player reviews that we've been doing. We took a little break because of the draft, but now we're back at it. And today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite Russian prospect, Kirill Marchenko, who had, I believe, I just looked it up, he had 21 goals in 59 games. Even funnier than that is he had 21 goals and 4 assists. I was really pushing for him to do the Cy Young thing of just have 20 goals and no assists. I think that would be really fun. But Hayden, you can't deny this kid's got something.
Yeah, he's got something. He really does. I will be honest, I was never really on the Marchenko hype train when he was in the KHL. I wasn't like fully on board, I guess, or maybe I just didn't really understand. But there's this guy I used to work with. I have to give him credit. His name's Ryan Baker. He actually works at the Fan now here in Columbus. He would talk to me, the whole year before he ever played in a Blue Jackets jersey saying, Hayden, like, this guy's the guy. Like, this guy's sick. Like, he's going to be awesome. Like, we can get rid of Line now because we have him. And I was like, whoa, man, like, take it easy. And then this guy came to Columbus, and he just was fully ready to play in the NHL, man. Like he was a star instantly became my favorite Blue Jacket to watch all year. I mean, it was Johnny Gaudreau, but as soon as Marchenko got on the ice, I think he joined at the beginning of December. As soon as he got on the ice, man, it was the Marchenko show. And granted, even though he was really, it was really amazing to see him come to fruition and play at this elite level instantly in the NHL. That was great. There's still some areas he can improve. And for being just a rookie this past year, just a 22-year-old rookie, so maybe you would say he's a little older of a rookie, but we know that's how it works when you deal with the KHL. To have him here at this age and have him be so good at one category already, which is goal scoring, it's really nice that Mike Babcock and the coaching staff now can work on molding his game outside of that. And it's really, really exciting for any Blue Jackets fan that either just became a fan last year or has been a fan of this team to have a player like that. So I'm super, super psyched about the future of Kirill Marchenko here. But yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, I was kind of the same. I heard that he was coming over from the KHL, and I was like, man, I've been hearing about this guy for like 2 years now. I bet his KHL stats are unreal, and they're fine. And so I was like, okay, this kid clearly has something that the stats aren't showing. And I still don't understand what kind of went wrong between the KHL and here, because it feels like he's hit another level. He's one of those players that I feel like you just have to watch him play. And I feel like every other game, Jeff Svoboda, Jackets Insider, would tweet something like, man, that goalie did not look comfortable making that save on Marchenko. He just has this shot that it just fools goalies all the time, and he scores goals like it's nothing. I think he was on pace for 35 goals if he played the full season. He started the season with the Monsters, had 19 points in 16 games with the Monsters. Like you said, got called up, made his Blue Jackets debut December 6th against Pittsburgh. Took him a little while to get going. He didn't score a goal for the first 3 games. Had his first career NHL goal December 11th, and then didn't really seem to stop after that. I don't know. I'm super, super excited about this kid. And it's tough to like temper your expectations, because we've seen it happen before. Someone comes in and have a really good rookie season, and then they take a step back the next season,
or they
I
leave.
can't see that happening with Marchenko. And I'm really excited to see what he does after a full summer under like Blue Jackets development control, because that's the thing with the KHL is I feel like, yeah, you can draft a player, but until you get him in North America, you're kind of beholden to whatever his KHL team wants to do, So he's come over. This is his first full summer where he's going to be probably working with Blue Jackets coaches. He'll have a Blue Jacket specific training plan. He'll be working with Rick Nash and the development team. I'm expecting big things from Kirill Marchenko next season. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of excitement on this team right now. Johnny Gaudreau, Patrick Laine, I think, is really going to hit another level next season. Adam Fantilli is going to be there. But every time I look at the roster and I'm like, man, Marchenko might be the guy that excites me the most of all, because I don't think there's no way he's done. He has another level. And I'm really excited to see what it is. Will he shoot at what was he was shooting like 20%? He shot at 16% this season, which is a little high. Do I think that's going to come down? Yeah, probably. But I also get like the thing about players like Alex Ovechkin, for example, and I'm not comparing Kirill Marchenko to Alex Ovechkin before anyone gets mad. But
I will here in a second. So just wait.
Yeah, give it 5 years. But those type of players, they score a lot of goals because they shoot the puck so much, And I think if Kirill Marchenko can, probably his shooting will drop a little bit, but if he shoots the puck more, his goal scoring should stay about the same, or maybe even get better. And so that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching. Is can this kid crank that goal scoring level up even above what he did in his rookie season, which was, just again as a reminder, 21 goals in 59 games.
Well, I mean, I think it's honestly fair to compare him to Alex Ovechkin, because the type of player Alex Ovechkin is he's a pure goal scorer. Like, he's out there and he's just going to score goals. And if he does anything else outside of that, that's amazing. But you can count on this guy pretty much getting a goal a night. It feels like, obviously that's unrealistic to have numbers like that unless the great one's still playing, but it just feels like that for Marchenko. And it was only his first year. I think he's going to keep doing it because he's a very smart player. He knows where to be on the ice, and he scored so many of his goals last year just from being at the right place at the right time, right? And that's all it takes in hockey, is just to know, literally take what Wayne Gretzky said and predict where the puck's going to be next. And if you can master that, then you can be a threat to, and if you can pair that with also having a ridiculous wrist shot, which he has, and it just blows by goalies all the time. That's how he scores goals that way as well. But just his creativity with where he needs to be on the ice to catch and shoot the puck at the right time is amazing. He's really, really good. He was almost so good that I can't even really remember his defense at all. And I feel like that's not a good thing. He was minus 23 last year or something like that. So certainly you can look at that and be like, that needs to be an area that he needs to improve in, just from looking at the pure stats.
I think everyone on the Blue Jackets needs
everybody
to
does
that area, though,
Everybody does. In every season review that we've had, we've just, laid into guys for their defense. So he's not really unique in that, where he needs to work on that. So, but his assist numbers need to go up for sure. Like, he needs to find a way to get more apples out there, because you're not going to score goals every single night. You're right, Jay. That 16% shot percentage, that might come down next year. So you need to add more to your game. We have other pure goal scorers that we can put on the ice with you, and Ken Johnson and Patrick Laine may be on the other side. Like, we can mix it in a lot. So there's room for him to grow. But yeah, after a first half season in the NHL, don't be surprised if we hit January, the Jackets are in a playoff spot, and Kirill Marchenko is the leader in points, because he's that good at scoring goals. Like, he's really good.
Definitely. And especially if he gets the right line mates, which we're going to talk about in just a second. I want to just finish this section. I went to see what Alex Ovechkin's goal totals were like. Here is a truly bonkers stat. He has only ever scored fewer than 30 goals once since his rookie season in 2005, and that was he scored 24 goals in 45 games during the COVID shortened season.
Wow.
Just insane.
Yeah.
Alex Ovechkin is on a different level to literally everyone else.
And
so I just wanted to finish that. But
the other thing about these guys too is Alex Ovechkin, we know him as such a bubbly personality, right? He was in all the commercials back in the day with ESPN, and he's always gives a good quote in an interview. Marchenko is the exact same way. Like, as soon as he got to Columbus, he really didn't know any English, but dude, he tried. He tried to know some English, and now he's been here for like a year now, basically, and he knows quite a bit of English. So he's such a I don't know, exciting personality too. Outside of that, it makes you love him even more. But yeah, we'll talk more about him.
He seems like he's really fun to like get a beer with. And his English way better than my Russian. So
all day.
In a minute, we're gonna go and we're gonna talk about kind of what the future is for Marchenko on this team. Maybe look at some potential line combinations, things like that. That's coming up in just a second here on Locked On Blue Jackets. Before we do that, though, I've got to tell you all about FanDuel. Take your first swing at betting on the MLB on FanDuel, and you're going to get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets, up to $200. That's right. All you got to do is bet $20, and you're going to land $200 in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. It's literally win-win. Either you win your bet and you win some money, or you lose and you still get that $200. $200 you can spend betting everything from the money line to the over-under to who you think is going to hit the first home run. If you want to bet on hockey, then I would maybe bet on Kirill Marchenko leading the Blue Jackets in goals this season. That feels like a pretty safe bet to me. You can do that all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on the MLB or the NHL than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get that $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, the official partner of Major League Baseball, and also us, the Locked On Podcast Network. All right, Hayden, we've talked a little bit about what the top six for this team is going to look like. Adding Adam Fantilli in there immediately gives this top six more versatility. It gives it some more excitement. And I know we've been talking a lot about putting Adam Fantilli between Gaudreau and Laine and just kind of watching them go. I wonder if that's where he starts, just to see what happens. But I think second line center Adam Fantilli is way more likely, just to kind of get him a little bit of weaker competition, limit his minutes a little bit. And so I personally am super excited for Adam Fantilli and Kirill Marchenko to team up all season long. And Marchenko is just going to score every single time Fantilli gets him in the puck. Like, that feels like a really great fit to me. You add Kent Johnson on the other side to bring some razzle dazzle to that line, to bring some highlight reels to that line. But that to me feels like a really fun combination that will really bring out the best in Marchenko's game. You get him a decent center, you get him someone that can pass him the puck. Kent Johnson's a half decent playmaker. And then you just kind of watch them go. I think you don't even need to super coach that line. You can just be like, hey, go have fun. How does that sound?
Yeah, to fill out that top line, I think I'm just instantly running Boone Jenner with Johnny again, just to see, the comfortability there after working a year together. The age is the same, and then I'll maybe throw Patrick Laine on the other side just because of what he can do on the ice, and again, comfortability there. And then that second line, is really, really exciting to think about. Just thinking about Fantilli, Johnson, and Marchenko on a line just gets me goosebumps, because Fantilli has already said, guys, in press meetings here in Columbus, like, hey, I want to be the guy that moves the puck as well. Like, I'm not just a scorer. Like, I want to influence the game in a better way and just constantly make a positive play no matter what I'm doing. That was a giant paraphrase there, but catch any Adam Fantilli interview in the last 2 days, and that's what he's saying. He wants to be a center that focuses on moving the puck in areas so that the team can score, which is like, that's the goal of the game. And Kirill Marchenko is a guy that always knows what to be in the right place for his center to get him the puck. Kirill Marchenko made Cole Sillinger look like he belonged in the NHL last year. Like, Kirill Marchenko can work well with any center. and Adam Fantilli can work well with any winger. So if you pair those two elite talents together, it's going to make some magic. And that's all I have to say, because those two guys are so good at what they do specifically. Like, I don't think the Blue Jackets have ever had a centerman that they're this excited about, like where he can score goals, he can pass well, and he can move fast. And then we have a winger who's just can score from anywhere on the ice at any time. He's 6'3", he's a big guy. Like, I don't think the Blue Jackets have ever had that dynamic of a duo, and it's exciting to think about.
Yeah, it feels a little bit insane for me to sit here and be like, man, Kent Johnson is the afterthought on that line.
Yeah.
And he's not. And the other thing as well is you can mix and match, like put Johnny Gaudreau with Fantilli and Marchenko, or put Gaudreau, Jenner, Marchenko, or I don't know, Line Fantilli, Marchenko. That might be a little bit weird because there's 2 goal scorers on that line, and really you can only shoot the puck like one time in any attempt, but I think Kirill Marchenko, or like the appearance of him as a legit top 6 option gives this team more options. Like we've talked about, can Cole Sillinger be an option in the top 6? I'm blanking on literally every other guy's name.
I mean, Jack Rostovic's still on the team.
Be an option for the top 6. They're bringing Dmitry Voronkov over, another Russian guy. I wouldn't hate Chinikov, Voronkov, Marchenko as a line either. I think that would be a lot of fun. But it gives the team options, and I think Marchenko gives this team another layer of goal scoring. And I think, as much as I loved that Gaudreau, Jenner, line last season, the team felt top heavy in a not ideal way. So I think you bring in a guy like Marchenko, you put him on the second line. I mean, I think a lot about, and this is going back a little while, but like the Blackhawks of 2013-ish, Patrick Kane was their second line winger, because that top line was Taves with Jonathan Taves with Marian Hossa and Patrick Sharp. You put Patrick Kane on the second line and then just watch him tear the opposition apart. I think you can do the same thing with Marchenko. You put him on that second line. He doesn't have to play against the shutdown elite 2-way center that the other team has, and then you just watch him. Have fun.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets have always needed those guys late in a game that can get the big goal. Like, the Jackets have never, and that's obviously an easy thing to say for a team that hasn't succeeded very much in the postseason, but it's true. Like, late in games, the Jackets have lacked the big goal scorer really until Line got here. That he kind of added that, and then Johnny Gaudreau obviously added that. We've always had that from Zach Werenski, but he's a defenseman, so he can't really break through as much. But now you got Line, Gaudreau, Kirill Marchenko, Kent Johnson, Fantilli. Like, you got so many guys that you just hope late in games can push the pace that extra mile and get that goal that they need, because in the NHL, it's those extra goals from those goal scorers that help you make the playoffs and help you win a Stanley Cup. Like, it's those fine margins, and to have a guy that already is very, very elite at goal scoring is just, it gets everybody excited. I don't think we need to keep going on about it, but just to talk about him even more, like, he can score from the blue line. He deflects pucks. He can take it around the net and do that little wraparound thing that Johnny Gaudreau also does. He can do a lot.
I want to see Kirill Marchenko do a Michigan goal this season.
Oh my God.
That's what I want.
I want the whole team to do a Michigan goal. We are the Michigan Wolverines.
Everyone, specifically Kirill Marchenko.
It needs to be like half of our goals this year need to be the Michigan. I think that's just as a blanket statement that goes for without, rebuttal. Like, the Blue Jackets need to lead the team in Michigan goals. That's just a fact. Yeah. It's exciting, but it's kind of crazy. I understand people that are still a little scared of leaving all this talent in the hands of Mike Babcock. I definitely understand where you people are coming from in that. Now that we have all this talent, now that we have Adam Fantilli and we're getting closer towards opening day, it is a little scary thinking, okay, this is all in the hands of a guy who hasn't coached in 3.5 years. I will admit that it is scary, but still, it is also exciting at the same time, because if he looks at this team and if he really is the coach that coached the Red Wings to all that success, if he really is the coach that got the Maple Leafs where they're at, then he's going to do insane things with this Blue Jackets team. He's going to do insane things. I'm ready to give him a grade. But I know we have more to talk about with his future here and stuff. I think he likes it here. I mean, like I said, in his interviews, he seems to be really the kind of the beat bop guy, just is friends with everybody. Like he's really, really entertaining when the camera's on him. Like he reminds me of Ovechkin in that way, because Ovechkin, when he was young and with the Capitals, he just had this energy about him. Like, man, we got to keep the camera on this guy.
Ovi is just
hilarious.
Ovi is having a great day every day.
Yes.
And I get the same energy from Marchenko. I think it's fun that we're building, again, like a little kind of cluster of Russian guys as well. Because, like, it must suck to move to North America and realize you're the only person in that locker room that, like, speaks that language. But yeah, let's go ahead and give out a grade. And I'm going to switch things up for you in a minute here. Let's give him a grade, and let's give him some summer homework. Let's give him a summer assignment of what he needs to work on. So we're going to do that in just a second here on Locked on Blue Jackets. Before we do that, I want to remind you all again that Locked on Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms. We're over on YouTube. We are trying to hit 500 YouTube subscribers by opening night in October. So if you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, please feel free to go and do so. It'll help us out. It'll make it easier for you to get the show, and it'll make us happy. And I feel like you should want to make us happy, because the happier we are, the more content we do. So thank you for making us your first listen of the day. Hopefully we are your first listen of the day every single day. Okay, Hayden, you are ready to give Marchenko a letter grade for the season. I feel like I can guess what you're going to give him, but let's go ahead and what grade does Mr. Marchenko get on his report card?
Yeah, I'm giving the biggest A+ I've ever given any player ever. Like, I really did love this guy. He was the reason I turned on this crappy Blue Jackets game, like when they're in the middle of the winter. Like I couldn't just, drink my way through it, and just bear with this crappy team. I needed players to root for, and Marchenko never disappointed. We talked about betting with FanDuel. The amount of times that I put a bet on Kirill Marchenko to score that night and he paid out was awesome. Like, it's just, he brings me so much joy as a player. When I sit back and was getting ready for the season review and looking at his body of work this past year with a critical eye, he passed every single level for me. He's really good. He's really good. And he does have a bit, like, if he was, 28, 29 years old and had the season he had, I would probably be like B or something. But for a first year in the league, for coming to a brand new country, I think that we undersell that sometimes as much as we talk about it. I think it's a huge, tough thing to get over. And he came into the locker room flawlessly. I assume he made friends easily because of the attitude that he decided to be a Columbus Blue Jacket with. I think was really awesome to watch, and I hope it was inspiring to some younger guys coming into this situation. He's really exciting, and I don't have to keep talking about it enough. I was really, really pleased. If I had to give him homework for next year, because if he has the exact same year that he has this past year, next year, where he scores a bunch of goals and doesn't have any assists, I'll probably bump him down to an A-, be like, hey, can we work on the passing? Because he's so good at scoring. But again, like, teams are going to scout him. Teams are going to figure out that, hey, 86 is the guy getting it done. If we can shut him down, he can't pass. Well, no, he needs to be able to pass and move the puck around as well. And we have goal scorers all over the ice now. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that. But that's it. Other than that, A+ this past year, his rookie season. Good job.
Yeah, I exactly the same. I think he came in and he did basically everything that was asked of him. He kind of suffered a little bit at the start of the year with similar kind of issues that a lot of the young guys suffered with, which was inconsistent ice time. Like his first game, he got 10 minutes and 3 seconds. His second game, he got 17 minutes and 14 seconds. Game 3, 9 minutes, 16 seconds, So it didn't phase him. He came in, he put up with the inconsistent ice time, he put up with the up and down the lineup. His longest goalless streak in this season was 9 games. And then I think he had 2 goals in 3 games immediately after that. So like the kid's got confidence. He's just got something. And you talk about this. He's what do the kids say? He's got the dog in him. He's got,
he's definitely got that dog in him. Yeah,
he's a rock star.
He's a rock star.
I love Marchenko. A plus from me. Similar homework. I think I would like to see a little bit more of a full ice game. The kid's got speed. I think he's
got size too.
I think he can use that. I'll be interested to see how he works in presumably what is going to be a much more defensively sound system this year. Because about by the time we were halfway through the season, the Blue Jackets had already lost like 4 of their top 6 guys. They lost another one to the trade deadline, and then Eric Branson missed, I think, the last 5 or 6 games. So like I believe, they finished the season with, I think, 0 of the defensemen that they started the season with. So giving him some defensemen to play with, I think, will probably improve his defensive game. And they won't have to go full offense all the time. But yeah, for me, A+ to Kirill Marchenko. Can't wait to see what he does. I assume he might be at Traverse City again, the prospect tournament. He might not. If not, then I think training camp day 1. That's who I'm going to be paying attention to. I'm going to be looking and saying, right, has Kirill Marchenko spent this summer shooting, or has he spent this summer working on other things? Both of which I'm equally happy with, but. We have no criticism of Marchenko. I think it's fair to say.
No criticism. And I also want to say this before we get out of here. Great head of hair on Kirill Marchenko. Like, we got to start giving flowers to guys that have great hair. Marchenko has great hair. And and it is fair to say that, can great hair cloud my judgment of a hockey player? Absolutely.
I'm not saying that. But...
Right. It absolutely can. But Kirill Marchenko passes without the hair. He could be out there bald. And let me just also say the number 86 is just a cool hockey number to me. Like, I just love that he chose a number in the 80s. I don't know. I think that's cool. And the number 86.
I'm trying to think of any other hockey player that's worn 86, and there's probably some guys out there, but
I think of Yager, but that's because he was 68. So like, I don't know. I just think 60. I think 86 is a great hockey number. I hope he keeps it. Yeah,
should wear fun numbers. At some point, I think what we're going to do this off season, when we're done with all of our like season reviews and stuff, is I'm going to make Hayden rank the Blue Jackets hair situation and see where we go from there. I think that would be fun. But that's it for us for today. No episode tomorrow because it's Sunday. We'll be back with you guys on Monday morning. And we're going to be talking about Adam Fantilli yet again because why not? So we're going to be looking at the top 3 picks in the NHL draft and we're going to look at Bedard versus Leo Carlsson versus Adam Fantilli and kind of look at, okay, what's each one's strengths? What's each one's weaknesses? Obviously, it's too early to say who the best player of those 3 is. It's probably Bedard. But I think there's probably some more nuance to that discussion. So we're going to look at how those guys kind of stack up against each other, which I think will be fun. So we're going to do that on Monday. I've been Jay Foster. You can find me on Twitter at _Jacob Foster, JAKOBFORSTER. You can find Hayden over at HaydenH971 on Twitter. You can find the show at LO_Blue Jackets. If you have comments, questions, criticisms, email us. You can do that at lockedonbluejackets@gmail.com. Thank you once again for making us your first listen of the day every day. Locked On Blue Jackets continues to be free and available everywhere you think you could find a podcast, up to and including Audible, the audiobook website, which is very funny to me. But you can find Locked On Blue Jackets there as well. And until Monday, make sure you stay locked on.